there will be three big challenges for the Conservative Party heading into this parliament. The first one will be keeping its majority. Right now, it only has a majority of 12. If you don't count the four Sinn Féin Irish nationalist MPs who never take their seats, it gives them a de facto majority of 16. But David Cameron's going to have a problem inside his own party keeping party discipline on some very contentious issues. The second biggest test for the government will be keeping the economy growing at the rate it currently is. Right now, it's the fastest growing economy in the G7. We see the lowest unemployment rates in the UK in over 7 years. And during the Queen's speech, of the 26 bills that were announced, a vast majority of them deal in some way or the other with the economy. And finally, we have the third big test, and that's the EU. David Cameron has said he thinks it's in Britain's interest to stay in the European Union, a reformed European Union, and he has the challenge now to negotiate with his European partners to get these reforms and then go back to his electorate and make the case on why Britain should stay or leave when they have the referendum in 2017. Britain has a very proud history, and sometimes I think Britain is unfairly judged by the previous empire it once ruled over, and not with what it actually does today around the world. It's able to deploy tens of thousands of troops. We've seen this in Afghanistan and Iraq. Even with defense cuts, are able to do this. It's a member of the UN, permanent member of the UN Security Council. It's one of the few countries in the world that have a nuclear deterrent. It holds key command positions across NATO, and it has the Commonwealth of Nations and its close ties to the USA. So Britain is able to continue to be a great power in the world, even though it's facing some defense cuts and cuts to the Foreign Office at home. And I think sometimes because of how powerful they were in the past, we wrongly judge their role in the world today. Well, even though Britain is a influential and powerful nation around the world, there is some legitimate concern about the path they are heading in terms of their defense cuts. The British government will be holding what they call a strategic defense and security review later this year. They've already started the work on this, and it's likely to be published sometime in the autumn. And this will set out the course for the next 5 years for the British Armed Forces and the role that they will play in the world. But there is a concern that they will fall below the 2% of GDP defense spending requirement that NATO sets. There is a concern that some of the capabilities they might lose could impact its relationship with the United States. But on balance, I think that Britain will still be a leading European military power for sure, and will remain in the top tier of global military powers.